Quickly.
All right, guys, welcome back to the
How's it?
Blamegirl podcast with,
Mr. Terry Wayne.
and we got Shandi up in the house, Shandi Wintner.
everyone.
Thank you for joining us, Shandi.
Thank you guys for having me. Good to be here.
So, how was your weekend, girl?
Oh, my weekend, just random stuff, car stuff, life stuff, birthday stuff. Yeah, I had to get a new battery and sit for 2 hours. Yeah, so.
You paid somebody to change your battery?
Yes, I know how stupid that is. I don't have people just randomly willing to change my battery for me. Or I don't like to
Okay.
ask for help. I could have asked you probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It takes it's less than 5 minutes.
I know.
It's 2 screws.
I know. I'm terrible. I know.
That's like saying you paid somebody to come change your light bulb. Like that's what I hear when you say that.
That's what we do sometimes.
That's great.
Did you do anything fun? You were supposed to come to my show this weekend. You didn't.
That was because of my car.
I know.
I was supposed to go to Gio's show. That did not work out. But I always support, as these two know. So
Didn't you do something fun on Sunday?
Sunday we'll try to go to the pool, but we ended up going to Copper Point Brewery down in Boynton. If anyone's been there, that's a cool place. All the food trucks and things like that. So that was good.
Cool.
So it's a cool place. Oh, and there was a shout out to the LGBTQ plus community that was hanging out there. A bunch of that community was in there with a flag and taking over the whole
Were they
place.
celebrating something? Or?
They're just a group in Palm Beach County that got together, and that's where they decided to get together at.
Nice.
So
If there's anything I know about the gay community, it's they don't really need a whole lot to party. You know, look at the parades, look at the parties. Like it's always the best ones. Always.
Terry, how was your weekend?
It wasn't a weekend. I did nothing. I I played nursemaid, and then that was about it.
Who you play nursemaid to?
My girlfriend.
Is she sick?
No, she
Okay.
was recovering from something, from a surgery.
Okay, I'll stop.
You must know. So she needed help.
All right.
So that was my.
I know.
but the important thing is she's okay, right?
Yes.
Okay.
She's fine now. Everything's
So
fine.
I got a chance to see her this weekend, or it wasn't this weekend. What day did y'all pop up over my house? That was Friday?
Yeah. Or no,
Right.
Thursday.
Yeah. All right. So my weekend was a lot of fun. Thanks for asking. How about my friend?
Nobody cares. Nobody.
Come on, Shane.
I know you were gonna do it, so I just let you do it, girl.
She's a loyal listener. She knows how the
I
show
know how
works.
this runs.
She knows that transition very well. So yeah, my weekend was good. Friday, I didn't do anything Friday night. I worked late, and then Saturday I had a lot of fun Saturday. I did work, and then I went to the pool, and then I had a show that night at the Boca Black Box where I hosted, and then I went to Propaganda, who has been sold to a new owner. So it was the last comedy show under that owner. It's my understanding they will be bringing comedy back. Gaetano will still be hosting it. But it's now going to be under new ownership. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it'll go great because I love that room. It's a really cool spot. I wonder if they'll change the name. Hope not.
Well, that's that terrible idea. If you buy a business that's already established, you're changing anything aesthetically, or especially the name is.
Well, maybe, repair the bathrooms. I heard the men's bathroom are really bad there.
Yeah, that would be nice.
But so then Sunday I was really hungover, and then I had a show at Blue Martini and Kindle last night, and that was a really interesting show. Very cool stage. Comics try to get to that room. Raul, thanks for having us. So it was a lot of fun. So I had a good weekend myself.
I need to try to get to more of the Miami rooms.
Anytime, girl, you want to ride down and I'm going down, you can. I know you've been to like Billings and stuff. We'll get into rooms later because I'm going to ask you which ones you like. You've been to a lot of them.
That's actually going to be the first time I think we've ever asked anybody, like as a non-comedian, what's your favorite room?
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
That's important too.
Mhm.
It's all about them rooms.
Well, my favorite rooms were rooms without guns. I gotta tell
Well,
you.
then you're in a bad room right now.
Oh, no, why do you tell me that? Actually, guns this week, they surpassed car accidents as leading cause of death for ages 1 to 19. Who's to blame, guys?
You know who's to blame. Why do we even do blames on shit like this? It's the fucking NRA. The NRA is the only one that stops reasonable gun legislation from getting passed.
What reasonable gun legislation do you believe would affect this demographic here?
More effective background checks, more stringent laws, and older purchase age. Because as of right now, if you're 18, go for it, you know, or if you're younger than that, your parents can legally buy you one. I got my
Yeah, I
first,
didn't know that.
my dad bought me my first gun when I was about 8.
Yeah.
And then he bought me my first pistol when I was about 12. So
He let you use it alone ever though?
well, I mean, I kept it. It was at,
You weren't supposed to, though.
no, I
Oh, so
did.
you had sole custody of your own guns?
Yeah.
At 8 years
What'd you
old?
do with them?
Nothing. It's just in a drawer. I would
See,
take it
that's-
shooting sometimes.
See, that's bizarre.
It
And
is.
that's why these things are happening, but you're,
But I was trained my whole life up until that point. But
That's
still,
what everyone fucking says about these guns and their kids. They're like, oh, my kids. So I don't know if y'all saw.
well, it is important to train.
I don't know if you saw this, but there's the proms are circulating and it's like cool now to take prom pictures with machine guns apparently. And so
I don't
black
know why
kids and
that's
white
wrong.
kids are doing it.
Mhm.
And I'm like horrified. Y'all have to do drills for school shootings. What the fuck are y'all doing?
Mhm.
Like, this is insane.
Well, I mean, I do believe in education. I used to teach a youth shooting class. So I do believe in educating them just because I learned to be afraid of guns in general from my father.
Mhm,
Like, he's like, the second you don't respect this, it kills you. So,
mhm.
you know, and so I was always very cautious. I know how to do safety checks, stuff like that. But
but you took him seriously. What
yeah,
makes you
but
think
not
you
every
took
kid's
him-
going to.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
why did you think, and why are they not?
Because I
Right.
knew because he exposed me to them, I knew exactly what they were and how powerful they were. You know, he would take me shooting as a very young kid.
I think maybe.
So it's extremely loud, it's extremely scary. So you're the first time you get to shoot when you're nervous. You're
Yeah.
super nervous.
So you think like maybe being exposed to the weapon made you afraid of it as opposed to like maybe because a lot of these kids, they're accidents and
Yeah.
maybe they're just playing.
that's what I
Yeah,
was
no,
gonna
and
say.
that's the thing is like the best
no
answer
exposure
to
to
most
it.
questions in general
Mhm.
in life is education. That's the answer.
Yeah.
So the more
I agree
educated
with
you
that.
are, the more exposed you are, you know,
You think
And this is just
the less these
this is
accidents
not,
happen.
this is not talking about suicide by gun with children.
No, because then that's suicide. It's a whole nother category.
That's true.
I don't know. I think this does encompass suicide and just
I
gun
think
deaths.
it has to, because I thought suicide was like the leading death of adolescents typically.
Mhm.
No, I believe it is the third leading cause.
Oh,
Yeah,
well then,
I did a video on it, so I had to do a lot of research.
Organization. Okay.
it's third.
No, I don't see
So-
suicide in this.
No,
Yeah.
suicide's not in there. But
It
I was
would probably
wondering
be its own
if it was,
thing.
Well,
How
what
many-
about the parents? I mean, how much responsibility is on the parents? Is it the parents' responsibility to educate, or should we have this in our schools?
Well, first of
No.
all, you're
parents.
yeah, 100% the parents. The parents, look, parents shouldn't get their kids a gun because their kid thinks a gun is cool. And that you said machine guns, so I'm assuming your AR-15s, shit they see in Call of Duty, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, that would be cool to have in real life.
Let's put it
Don't
on
buy
my
your-
prom date dress.
You wouldn't buy your kid a dog just because they thought it was cool. You'd be like, no, I'm not taking care of this, but you'll buy them an AR-15. That's ridiculous. When I said my dad bought me guns, he bought me guns to either A, hunt with, or B, go and compete shooting with. But it wasn't just because like, oh, guns are cool, so here's one, you know,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
So then.
I
you
just want to
haven't-
say, Anthony, I see that
What?
you're watching. Text me any commentary that you would want. I'll say it on Facebook.
Then I want to know what Terry would do if he had a son or a daughter. Would you give them a gun at 8 years old?
Me?
Yeah.
Probably a BB gun. You're not gonna really hurt anybody with that, but I don't know.
But they-
Eight's a little, to me, eight's a little young.
What age is appropriate
I would say when you
coming from?
can actually fire one for a thing. I don't really do anything. Like I don't hunt anymore. I haven't hunted in probably 15 years. So I don't need them for that.
You're saying there's an activity associated with it?
There is. I used to love trap and skeet shooting, which is the pool, and on that. I used to love it, and so I still have my shotgun because every once in a while I'll go do that. So I'd say when my kid's old enough to fire an actual shotgun, I would probably teach him then, just because I would want to share that activity.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculously fun, by the way, if you've never tried it, everybody.
I don't know.
I just don't know why the access is so easy.
It's the access for me, and it's like also with regards to like the leading cause among adolescents. Do you think school shootings have any play in these figures?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened to that one kid recently in that school shooting where his parents were being charged? What happened to them? I actually never followed up.
I don't
You know which one
know.
I'm talking
Yeah,
Yeah, there was a manhunt.
Yeah, then
They
what
fled.
happened
Well, he got caught.
They're
obviously.
charging them, I guess, but
Yeah.
that's in that
though? Did that
state,
case?
you know?
I don't think it's come to fruition yet.
Oh,
I
okay,
think
okay.
they're just still awaiting trial.
It made me think of that case.
Yeah, it's a suburban couple. They're not criminal masterminds. What are you kidding?
No.
Why did they even flee?
I know,
Like,
it's so dumb.
I
You're
just-
not Brian Laundry.
I just wanted to know what was gonna happen with them.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I'll look into that.
Yeah.
All right, so I got a good question. Why did Netflix lose 200,000 subscribers in the first quarter, y'all? Who's to blame?
Netflix is.
Why is Netflix to blame, Terry?
Netflix has not caught on to the jive of you have to release your best shows 1 week at a time. Netflix is still just
Letting you have it.
letting you binge, which is crazy because then even if you like a show, you're not invested in it long enough to create buzz, to create those talking points. That happened with like Euphoria is a good example.
I see what you're saying.
Euphoria is a good example. If they would have released Euphoria all at once, it probably wouldn't been as popular as it
I
was.
never thought about it like that.
Yeah, because you have time each week to go, oh, have you seen Euphoria? It's fucking bananas.
But the thing
or
about
whatever.
Netflix, they let you do that, but then you always have next season to look forward to.
But nobody wants to. You think people have an attention span these days to sit and
No.
wait till next season?
Yeah, they do.
No.
Like we do it.
I
I'm waiting
guess.
for Euphoria. You think people have the attention span to wait week to week and then for next season? Because
But
they
if
do
they-
that.
I
that
think
way.
it gives the show time to build. That's why Disney does it. That's why
They
HBO
took
Max
away a
does
lot
it.
of Disney stuff on Netflix, but I know that's been a little bit, they took away certain things that
What?
people were, like the CW, like a lot of the CW shows that people like, they took away a lot of those on
Off
there.
of
Well, yeah,
Netflix.
because
you think that affected
Disney's gonna want to put it on their.
Right, but I think
Yeah.
like
Shandy? What do you think about
that
it? You
made me
think,
stop watching as much because I like those shows.
you think because they've gone to other subscribers, some of the shows that caused Netflix to lose some subscribers?
I do think so a little bit, or that like what Terry said, they're not as hot right now because they don't maybe have something for someone to look forward to every week, maybe.
Well, it's not even that.
They
It's,
do though, because they're good about, I feel like they're good about emailing or just letting you know, oh, we got new shows coming up this week. Or
That's true.
they do press releases about, oh, Netflix has all these new shows. So you're like looking out for them. And then when you turn on your Netflix, it's like right there in your face.
well,
So.
like when the app started, Netflix was the first one.
Mhm.
So everybody was like, oh, this is the one. So their numbers kept going up and up and up. And now everybody under the sun's got an app.
Hulu.
Some of them are free.
HBO Max.
Hulu, Peacock is free.
Yeah.
There's some of them are free. So it's kind of
Peacock
like,
is not free,
yes, it is.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
completely.
No, there's
Not
like
everything,
in-app purchases
A
you
lot
can
is
make, but,
free on there
but
though.
there is.
I'd
quite a
rather
bit.
get my NBC shows through Hulu because Peacock is not free. You gotta have like cable and
Me
then have to
too.
be able to subscribe.
No,
But
you
you
don't.
know what?
I bop
I
around
have
through
Peacock.
all
I have
them.
no cable.
You have Peacock outright.
No,
It's
I
just
have the
app. You can
Peacock
get the
app.
And you
Yeah.
pay for it.
I don't pay.
You don't pay for it, it's free.
Yeah, so what I'm saying. You're limited as to what you can watch if you don't pay for the app.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
if you
true.
get the upgraded, pay the $5 or
That's
whatever.
true, but
then
most
you
of
get
the
all.
stuff I watch on Peacock is free. I don't know about you.
I think
but-
the only time I might have paid for
They-
Peacock because I was watching. There was some show that
They
I was
are
watching.
pulling a little bit of a
10 days.
dirty trick, which is like, they'll take their best shows like Parks and Rec and The Office. They'll give you like the first 3 seasons you can watch for free. And then they're like, oh, you have to upgrade to get to the next
Yeah.
seasons.
I mean, they got to make their money some way. Off
But
of
that's
it.
like drug dealer mentality.
But it's
They're
like,
like, get
aren't
them
you-
hooked on it and then
The thing is about this
then
is
we'll
like
charge.
with TV, it's like you got your money on your fucking ads. Like you didn't charge us for that. That just streamed into our household and that was free. But yeah, it's interesting to see these big names like NBC, CBS, who had, those were the main networks and they are going
But
to
they
where
don't
you
have ads now for the most part. Usually when you see an ad on a streaming app, it's an ad for something on that app. I've never watched Peacock and then, or Hulu and then went, oh, Tide, like that it doesn't really happen.
No, it's more targeted ads. I mean ads, but
But once Netflix gets another show that is like a hot moment for everyone, everyone's gonna flee back though.
Well, and also it's password sharing
Yeah.
is the other thing that they swear they're gonna crack down on, but they still haven't.
They
Yeah.
don't, they
Yeah.
don't.
no, they're supposed to crack down on it, and that's
A
gonna
little bit.
cause them to lose some subscribers, but they say that those subscribers will come back around
Well,
on the
what I was
back
saying
end.
before is, remember, everybody got Netflix back then because that was the only one. So now that
Yeah,
everything
that's
else is coming, now you have more options. Some of them are
Saturated.
free, some of them aren't, but Netflix is one that you go, do I really need this
Yeah.
anymore?
I don't think so. I
Yeah.
disagree. I cycle through Netflix, Hulu,
I-
HBO
But
Max.
that's you.
I do that same thing.
Yeah.
I have
Amazon
to, I
Prime.
don't want to get rid of any of them. I like to keep my options open.
I do too.
And you know what? It's all still cheaper than fucking cable and dealing with Comcast. That's all I know.
I don't know. It depends on how many you get.
But maybe everyone's maybe certain people are trying to be a little bit financially smarter and be like, do I really need Netflix right now? Because they
Yeah.
do up their. didn't
I
they
will
just
say this
recently-
You
about-
say cheaper than cable, but that math is not as bad as you think it is. Because I thought it was. Well, that's why I canceled the cable. But when I looked at it, I was like, okay, if you throw in the internet, which I obviously have to have for just to even use that damn apps, you throw in the internet and then add up those charges with your internet and then compare it to your old cable bill. Mine was virtually the same.
I don't know. I don't feel like mine's the same because it'd be like 70 more bucks and then maybe now it is. Maybe you're right. Because when I moved to where I'm at now, I've been where I'm at about 4 years, and I was like, I'm not getting cable.
Mhm.
I'm gonna just do the streaming. And so I got Hulu and Netflix. And I will say this about Netflix. Netflix would piss me off because I'd be like, they don't even have anything good. They have worked on that and they've gotten a lot better content.
They do.
But with all the price increases over the last couple of years, but then I don't know how much cable costs. Maybe that's gone up too. I want to say that like I thought it was so funny this week. Trevor Noah, he said that one of the reasons Netflix has lost subscribers is because Jean Renee Page left Bridgerton.
What? Say that
Nah.
again?
Jean Renee Page left Bridgerton.
Oh,
The hot guy.
Okay,
The
okay.
really fucking hot guy. I
Yeah.
haven't watched
I
Bridgerton
love
since he
Trevor,
left.
but I don't think that's it.
I think
No,
What-
it might have been a joke. But it
I don't think that's it.
could have been.
What about the Russian invasion?
I've heard that too.
You think that? is
I,
the reason?
I don't think.
I think
but-
that that's part of it. I think that they cited that in the article. See fourth, right here.
Mhm.
Macro factors include sluggish economic growth, increasing inflation, geopolitical events such as Russia's invasion of the Ukraine. Because Netflix,
Are they boycotting Russia too?
Russia's boycotting Netflix. Yeah,
Yeah. Why is that?
I don't know.
That seems backwards.
Pettiness.
Yeah, it does. That
Okay.
seems weird. I just don't, I'm not getting the connection with that. I don't know. I just think.
That's I mean, it's 200,000 subscribers they've lost, and then Ukraine.
Well, how do you compare?
They're
it to-
probably not paying those
How do
bills.
you
A lot of them
compare
are
it to-
probably not.
I'd like to know what HBO Max is doing than Hulu is doing. Like, are they doing better? Or are they doing worse too?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm.
That's a good question.
Well, it's not even to mention the fact that just one little thing, a side note I wanted to say since we're on Russia. Did you know that because of all these boycotts, Russia has started implementing their own versions of these companies, like straight knockoffs?
Yeah.
Straight knockoffs, like they have their own McDonald's now, where it's not the golden arches. They just turned it on its side and turned it into a B. And now that's like whatever Russian word for burgers is.
That's
like they have
wild.
their own IKEA stores now that are, they use
Who
the
can
same
stop
signs.
them?
They just changed them. Yeah.
Who can stop them?
Nobody's going to war over fake Big Macs.
They still got Big Macs.
Is it good though?
Probably not as, I would say it's probably not the same.
I'm gonna say it's probably not the same because
It's a trash
they're not
version.
getting quality products anymore. After they started the war, everyone's sanctioning them, so things just aren't the same there anymore. And so
Yeah, I just don't know if it'd be any good.
Well, that's what happens when your leader's a lunatic. Keep that in mind in 2 more years, everybody.
yeah. Well, don't let any
Yeah.
people from TikTok become leaders because they're lunatics. Let me tell you.
That was okay. That was an all right transition.
2 people this week were electrocuted doing something they learned on TikTok.
Mhm.
Who we gonna blame, y'all?
Natural selection. That's just Mother Nature taking
I
out the
just-
garbage. That's all it is.
I don't even have a TikTok. I can't even, it's taken over too much of everyone's life. I feel like, hey, boo. Boo Mita and parents.
Yeah.
You got a close up.
What did they, oh, I didn't see the.
They were doing, a Wisconsin couple, they were preparing to film a video of this dangerous art technique. It's called fractal wood burning, and it's popular on TikTok. And you use like an electrical current to burn a design in a piece of wood, which is a piece of wood soaked in a chemical. That sounds like a conductor to me.
Mhm.
And then, so it was a 44-year-old Tanya Rodriguez and 52-year-old James Carafoli.
52.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are they adults or children? And then you just
Yeah.
answered that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I
Like
was
his
thinking
age.
You're
children.
too old to be on TikTok.
Yeah, because you don't know how to.
The older ones love TikTok too.
They like it, but you can't
A
just
lot.
be DIYing what you see on there. I'm just sorry. Like,
Look,
So-
anybody who dies doing anything for TikTok is never gonna have my sympathy at all. Sorry, it's not worth it. TikTok's good for one thing.
they're our age, Terry.
I don't care.
think-
That's even worse. What are you doing?
I think when you have such access like that to everything, you think you could just do anything, and no, you can't. You need to research yourself.
At least if they were kids, I would go, oh, they're just dumb kids.
But is
being
it?
dumb,"
Is
you
there
know?
something with TikTok? Because like this isn't the first time we've talked about
Like
this. About
hypnosis. of
yeah, it's
TikTok.
like
People-
with
yeah,
the ADD and like people thinking that they have these.
Well, I told
issues.
you, I can't go on there. I can't do the reels. I can't.
Yeah, you
I can't-
said you couldn't.
My brain melts. The first time I got on TikTok,
So they wear you down and then
I
you do
looked-
stupid shit.
yeah, I looked up and it was 4 hours later. I'm like, this is not healthy. This cannot possibly be healthy.
Yeah. It sucks you in like crazy, and it won't let you leave. You like try to go out, and it's like no.
I don't
You
mind.
gotta
the
push the back button a couple of times. It's like non-consensual.
That's
a little
actually
bit.
really creepy.
Yeah.
I'm just, look, I'm okay with destroying my body, but I don't want anybody destroying my mind. You know what I mean? Like,
Hypnotic TikTok.
it really is. There's
Yeah.
something, I wouldn't even say hypnotic. There's
I don't have it.
there's
I don't want
definitely,
it.
me neither.
You know who else I don't want?
Mm.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, who does? Who
God,
wants that?
that lady is crazy. And this week she was being confronted about her political rhetoric, and it's linked to the January 6th insurrection. Who's to blame?
I mean, she's to blame for everything. I would blame the Kennedy assassination
All
on her
I
if I
know
could.
is that everything she said is I don't remember, right?
Yeah, she said she didn't remember a lot.
So,
And
Are you
they
that confident if you
they-
don't remember a lot?
brought up Independence Day, right? Because some of what part of her speech, she said, God.
Well, luckily for us, she tweets everything. So there's a nice handy record about everything she's forgotten.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. That's why you posted the other
She
day, you're like,
said-
get ready for Trump tweets again. I'm like, I hope he does get back on Twitter, because you know he's going to incriminate himself in one of these crimes he's being investigated for.
Oh, true.
So she says something about they aren't the type of people, conservatives, that will go quietly into the night. That's a direct quote from Independence Day, allegedly. But they grilled her about all this. And today I shared this. This is what she said. I'm going to read it verbatim. Just give me a second.
Well, inciting violence is a crime.
She said, and this is who, I can't remember who she sent this to, right?
You just read it.
This was, okay. Okay. In our private chat with only members, several are saying the only way to save our republic is for Trump to call martial, and she spelled martial law wrong. I don't know on those things. I just want you to tell him they stole this election. We all know they will destroy our country next. Please tell him to declassify as much as possible so we can go after Biden and anyone else. Green wrote to Meadows.
Declassify as much what?
That seems like a drunk rambling almost.
Yeah.
That's how she talks.
Mm.
That's how she talks.
Well, yeah, but I mean, look, Trump showed somebody, this is why somebody said, oh, man, I can't wait till Trump dies. And then all this
Somebody said that?
Yeah. And so they said, oh, I can't wait till Trump dies. Then we can go back to normal in this country. No, he's the Trump formula has been laid out.
Like the
he's
ripple
changed
effect of
things.
it, everything.
Right. That's why you have a Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah.
That's why you have a Matt Gaetz. That's why you have Josh Hawley.
Gave everyone platforms.
Well, no, he showed them how to manipulate dumb white people, you know.
And they will not.
And I'm not saying every Trump supporter, every Marjorie Taylor Greene supporter is. Yeah, I'm not saying that they're all stupid. I'm saying that they learned how to take all the stupid people and fold them into their existing base. By just saying buzzwords. Jesus, abortion, guns, America, pride, police. You just say those keywords and they follow them like lemmings.
They have very reckless speech, and it's it all has buzzwords.
Yeah,
and it's like we won't go quietly into the night.
Just like that what's
like
that
that
stupid thing they started at the race? That let's go Brandon shit. If you want to say fuck Joe Biden, just say fuck Joe Biden.
Oh,
you don't need a code word.
With their trucks.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. It's like, why do you need a secret code word? Why is everything a secret now? Oh, it's a secret conspiracy. Oh, Q's got our back. Trump's playing 4D chess. No, maybe you're just a moron, and it's a simple issue you can't understand.
Do you think that they're going to be able to snatch her title, Marjorie Taylor Greene? They're trying to get her out of out of Congress.
And that doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because again, you've poisoned the well. You know what I mean? The next person to come out of that district will be just another fucking lunatic, because they've already proven that's what they want in that district. That's who they're going to send to Washington.
Fucking lunatic.
Is a crazed lunatic who likes to go around yelling at teenagers of school shooting victims and accuse wildfires on Jewish lasers. Like, this is what they wanted. They picked her.
I can't believe all of this stuff is actually real.
I can't believe it's happening in Georgia. I can't believe she's a Georgia representative.
But I mean, it's just like
Alabama, I'd see.
It's like the status quo. It's like you said. It's like that's why our governor is having a pissing contest with Disney right now. So,
also ridiculous.
And the former president. I love when they fight each other. Because DeSantis wants to be president, so does Trump.
Yeah, that's where we need to focus our energies on, pitting them against each other.
It doesn't matter, because whoever wins the candidacy, that's who's going to get all the votes.
And that's going to support them.
And I think it's going to be DeSantis, to be honest. I think that Trump.
It's wild.
I think there's a lot of Republicans that are totally sick of the Trump thing, and they want Trump mentality, they want Trump ideas, but they want it wrapped in a nicer package, which is actually a lot more dangerous.
That makes me, that's what I just thought. I was like, oh my God.
It's actually a lot more
dangerous. So much more dangerous.
Can you imagine a Trump that still had all the intention, still had all the will, still had all the ego, still wanted to be a dictator, but was smoother and had a little bit softer edges,
Oh,
and
don't give people ideas, Terry.
that's what's gonna
I'm
happen.
shook, Terry.
I
I'm
called
shook.
this. Yeah, it's gonna get rough.
Oh, that's creepy, but
Well,
probably true.
Yep.
Well, let's just
he'll
have-
do 4 terms in office.
let's just have fun. Oh, God. Let's just have fun while it lasts. Oh
Yeah.
my God. All right, let me go ahead and take the opportunity to welcome Shandi to the podcast
Thank you.
for her second time. Some of you might remember Shandi. She stepped in to host.
was
I
a
think I had a
while
show or
ago.
something.
Yeah.
My hair was blonder.
A woman guest.
Shandi,
All right, Terry, we'll take over. It's okay.
Shandi, she's not a comedian, so I don't have like a title. What would your title be if you
No,
wanted to?
I don't have a
She's
I
friend of the
just-
show.
Yes, I'll be friend of the
She
show.
is a
I'm
friend of the
I'm
show.
a supporter,
Yeah.
Shandi.
Yeah.
I'm always a supporter. So,
Yeah. What,
and I like doing that, so that's me.
it's a lot of fun,
Yeah.
and I like even like how after we do the pie, or even before, if I talk to you about it, you like giving me commentary. You always have some thoughtful commentary, so that's appreciated.
Yeah.
So you're always on the comedy scene though.
I'm
You're-
always on the comedy scene
Yeah.
due to this one, obviously.
Yeah.
And Terry, when he's out there doing his thing too.
Mhm.
Yeah,
about my thing?
when you're out there doing your comedy thing, I support you.
How long have you been checking it out? How long have you been into
Well,
comedy? Did you watch comedy before you started coming out to support me, or?
No, I'm gonna give the honest answer, but no, I'm sorry, everyone. But yeah, when my bestie over here started doing it, that's when I started supporting. And how long have you been doing it? 3 years?
You know you don't owe anybody anything, right?
Yeah, what do you
She's
mean?
like, I'm sorry, everybody. I didn't support comedy
Oh, well, I'm
before
just being nice.
Geo started comedy.
Oh, Terry. Okay, wait, how long have you been doing it? That's how long I've been supporting it.
About like 3.5, 4 years.
Yeah, so for about that time,
Mhm.
and I just think it's very important to support your friends in whatever they are doing.
Do you enjoy it?
Does that include pedophilia?
No,
Well, then not
Within
whatever. Okay,
reason.
all right. Just checking.
Terry, whose mind is going there
Don't
besides
bring up
yours?
pedophilia on this show unless we're talking
We
about your
don't-
friends. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, which
What were you saying, ma'am?
lost my train of
I know.
thought.
Who'd
But
have thunk it?
I was
Terry, no,
saying,
but
you've been
I
watching
think
it,
it's important to support your friends with legal fun things that they do.
There you go.
but do you enjoy
Do I enjoy watching? Yes,
the
I
local
do.
comedy
I
scene?
do enjoy the local comedy scene. I think most everyone puts their heart and soul into it when they're up there and doing their thing. And I've been enjoying getting to know all these comedians. So it's been a cool scene to just,
Who are some
Yeah.
comedians that stand out to you that like you feel like maybe you related to, or you just thought they were super funny?
Yeah, Shandy. Who's funny?
who's funny? Well, obviously I think this one is.
No, you
Because
can't
we
say
talk about things,
Gio.
I won't say, okay, well, I'm saying obviously it's relatable, certain things. but-
Mhm. I know you've inspired some of my jokes for sure.
Yeah, so, oh gosh. Well, who was the one, I don't remember everyone's name always, though. Who is the Miami chick?
I'm gonna give you like 5 seconds before I kick you out of my house.
Why?
You're
Why?
not saying Terry.
Oh
my gosh, Terry's very funny.
You can
Just so
only be in
everyone
your
knows.
house if you think you're funny.
Yeah, well, you gotta at least lie to me. You just lied to everybody else, you know.
No, you are, but I'm just thinking of
What?
She
chicks.
really thinks
Because
I'm funny.
I'm
Oh, I didn't say that. I meant.
I'm thinking of the chicks, no offense to you guys, but I relate better to the chicks on the comedy
Yeah,
scene.
I feel that.
I mean, that's just the
You had
truth.
some,
So,
It's fine.
you said Miami, you got,
Fine.
yeah, she does voiceovers.
Polly McPaulison,
Mm.
yes.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
she's hilarious. Gosh, I don't know.
Okay, I won't leave you on the spot too
I
long.
can't remember everyone's names, I'm sorry.
I just want to mark down for the record that Shandy is a bigot that only likes female comics.
That's not true, not true.
You can be bigoted. in
She
that
said,
way.
who do I relate to?
Mm,
I relate to the females.
Sure.
I'm
Are
a-
there,
I'm a girl
okay, fine.
girl.
Are there any guys on the scene that you?
Yeah.
stood
There
out
you
to
guys
you?
on the thing.
Any guys on- Well, Obviously, Terry, you do stand out.
I do leave my mark.
I've only seen Brian Joulet once, but his set was funny because he talked about something I do. So
What
that
did you
was
relate
really
to? Brian?
there's one joke where he sits in his car before he goes in
Oh,
anywhere
yes,
for the
you've been
longest
talking about
time
that.
because he has anxiety and just can't get out of the damn car.
Yeah.
I feel that. So
It's just like, especially if you relate to it, it's like just cracks you up a
it
little
is
bit
funny because
more,
I'm
right?
like, that's exactly what I do. And you're a dude, and I'm like, I didn't think I could relate to dudes in that way sometimes.
So
I never thought that comedy had to be like, I was never under that, like, oh, it has to be relatable to me for me to get it or think it's funny. I've never been that way because, you know, take any of mine, for example, like I don't actually go out and bang old ladies. And most other people wouldn't either, but that joke kills every time.
yeah, but maybe someone can relate to the experience of helping an old lady and her like following them, or you know what I'm saying? It's like so before I was a comedian, the comics that stood out to me were Jackie Sanchez and Chris Priester. Jackie Sanchez stood out because there's a very specific joke where she felt cornered, like she was gonna get raped, and I thought it was hilarious. And I related to that as a woman, because we've all been in situations where you're like, oh wait, it's too many dudes, or this is dangerous. And then with Chris Priester, he was a teacher. I was also a teacher.
Yeah.
So I totally related to the jokes. And
So you're a person where, again, has to be relatable.
it's
For
more,
me,
it will
yeah.
more likely stand out to me if I can relate to
You
the
really don't
material.
feel like that, right, Terry? I feel like that's how it
I
is
really
with most
don't.
people.
No, I kind of
I
watch
think you
when
do. I
when
just
I
don't
watch.
think you realize it.
Well, that's like saying I can't. That's like saying I won't enjoy a movie unless I can relate to James Bond. Do you know what I mean? Like, so to me, it's an entertainment, a form of entertainment. So when I go, I just listen and I'm build your world. I'm gonna live in your world.
Well, let me just say this. It's not like I can't relate to stuff that I don't experience. Like Taylor Tomlinson, right? She's very sober and has mental health issues and very funny. I did enjoy her material. So it's not like I can't enjoy your material if I don't relate, but I'm more likely to remember your material.
Right.
And remember you if I relate. It's the thing.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Shandy, what has been your favorite venue you've been out to watching us do these local, and you can't say the Improv?
Yeah.
Actually, in this case, she could, only because
You'll allow it?
Yeah, well, because again, she's not coming as a performer. She's coming as an audience member.
That's true.
So actually, the improvs are on the table because it also has to do with their.
I think
As a
I like the
consumer
smaller
service.
intimate rooms too, like a lot of you guys do also, because just the vibe of it
Yeah.
is better.
Is
I
there
think
any-
for everyone.
Is there any room that?
Well, the
stands out
reason
to
why
you?
we can't say the improvs is because everyone would say that because
You
performing
get laughs there.
performing at the improvs is great. You know.
No offense to the improv, but like sitting in those seats up front sometimes it's a little crowded and like you're like it feels a little bit more restricted than when you could just like, you know, walk around at a bar
And that is why I said you could say the improvs, because I knew she wouldn't. As a person coming out to
Yeah.
watch comedy,
She's a
she's right.
consumer.
You're getting stuck in the small aisles. You know, the service takes a while. You know, it's just.
it's just not.
So
I
is
like-
there one that you that you just you were
Where
like, I
did-
like this place?
Gatsby's was cool,
Yeah.
and then that,
That was a great room. I hope they
which
bring it
I
back.
can't believe you guys are telling me that it's done. I only went there once.
Well, they sold it, I believe, is the story I heard. They started remodeling and then they
No.
said, just sell it, and they sold it. And apparently the new person is gonna try and bring it back. So
Yeah.
So Elijah might be working with
Yeah.
whoever's.
I
Once
hope
it's
she
ready.
does, because I do like that room, and then I also like that one Miami room I went to with you. where-
Villain Theater.
Yeah, I do like Villain.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a popular favorite.
Yeah, well, Villain's great because it's the same vibe as like an improv.
Like the low key vibes.
Yeah, it's the same vibe as the improv, but minus the volume, which is where you get the problem with going to the improv as a consumer.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's the fact that their acts are so popular you got 500-600 people in a room. It takes a lot to handle 500-600 people.
Yeah.
You know?
I
So-
mean, as a consumer, whenever I go to the improv, I gotta say it drives me crazy. I like sitting back by the comics because I know John's gonna come and make sure he serves us. But if I go and I sit with my friends out, I am just going crazy the whole time
Yeah.
because I can't get service.
Well,
so
you know,
hard to get service.
There's a trick to that. Everything you're gonna order all at the same time.
Yeah.
Order it
When
all
they
in the
first
beginning.
get there too.
If you're drinking
Like-
beer, order a bucket of beers.
That's true.
If you're gonna drink vodka or something like that, just get bottle service.
Like
Yeah.
logistically though, down there on the lower level, I don't like how that's set up. I don't like those tables like that because actually you're not turned facing the stage really. Like
yeah,
with
you're
your
like
chair
facing each
technically.
other.
You're
Right.
You have to be
yeah.
like,
Why can't we flip it?
Well, they do, Miami's kind of like that,
mhm.
where everybody's kind of like catty cornered up against each other. Yeah.
Like I guess you can only do what you
But
can
I
do with
will
the
say,
space,
I will
but
say, it feels like a real comedy club in the improv. It does. It
for,
feels like
for everyone else because it's such a big
for the
stage.
comics. For
Yeah.
the comics, it just
Yeah.
feels like a real fucking comedy club.
Well, people are
Which
like
is-
mostly paying money to be there mostly.
Well, which is funny when you
Yeah.
go to these other, that you say this feels like a real comedy club. Because if you go to LA, you go to New York, you go to these famous comedy clubs that have been there forever, they are the complete opposite of that. They're small, they're intimate. You pack in
Mhm.
70 people into a small room.
You're still packing in people, right?
Yeah, but it's set up a lot differently because again, you don't have to cater to such a large number.
Yeah.
So when you say that feels like a real comedy room, that echoes to me the opinion of a lot of comics down here that I've known over the years that feel that same way. And it's like, that's not what
Well,
happens out
maybe,
there.
yeah, because
you know?
when I would go consume comedy before I was ever like a comic, I would go to the improv because that's all I knew, you know.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
So,
I just
um,
like, I think like if it was like, like a little bit more intimately set up somehow, where there was like, I don't know, like
smaller tables that were like circles.
Like-
and,
It's
like
a
almost like a
catch-22.
like
they're
almost like a
trying to
cruise ship
pack it
where you
out.
have those nice seats, like like where everyone could just have like cushion seats all across and like little tables in front. Maybe I'm being too fancy about it, but
You're,
like
you're not, but here's the thing, from the business aspect.
I was
of it,
just thinking,
it's
that.
the same reason why you say, why do we all have to sit like this? I'll tell you why, because if
pack
they
more
didn't,
people.
because if you didn't sit like that and you sat in a more, a way that was more convenient for the show, there's 10, 20 chairs now that you're missing.
I
And
get it.
it's a numbers game.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
it's not just a numbers game, but when you have these nationally touring headliners like Kevin Hart coming in and getting
Yeah.
he wants to probably
Yeah.
maximize how many tickets he
I get
sells.
no, I get it.
And they'll like fit you in the little like when me and Mindy went, because we were on Will Call, they said us like we were in the back by the green room, like far corner. But we got in there, you know, so they will pack it out.
Well,
I guess I'm just a sucker for like the vibes of the place too. I like having it all come together
Right.
almost like, but that's just me.
well,
Not
there
everyone
is
is like
a,
that. Some people probably just love just going to the improv because they just want to see funny people and they don't care about anything else.
right.
There's those people.
Do you have any favorite moments over the last few years you've been watching it that stood out to you that you want to?
Favorite moments. I just think when I see, because I've seen everyone multiple times at this point,
Mhm.
this sounds so corny, but I feel like a little cheerleader when I see everyone do better and become better.
Yeah, I
So
feel that.
that's
way.
how
feel
I
that.
feel like, you
Yeah.
you were,
yeah, I get
you
it.
embarrassed me one time telling one of them, I won't say his name, of like, when you're like, my friend Shandi said you did better, you've grown, you've done better. And he came right up to me and said, thank you, like right up to me. And I was like, oh,
I'm
like, I
sorry.
felt like embarrassed.
I didn't mean to embarrass you.
No, I felt
But-
embarrassed, but he was probably being sincere of
Mhm.
saying like, oh, probably thanks for the feedback that you think I've gotten better.
Did he say thank you, or was he like,
Yeah.
oh,
he
you thought I was
kind of
bad
like,
before?
No, he was
Okay.
nice about it, like saying like,
Yeah.
Well, everybody's bad before. That's the thing.
Yeah, but-
Everybody's bad before. But when you watch somebody, because again, it's been like almost 11 years now for me. When you watch somebody who starts out truly terrible,
yeah,
And
that's what
because-
I'm saying.
because you don't get mad at it, you don't judge it. I mean, I guess some people do, but they're dicks. you actually feel bad for the person that's bombing on stage.
It's cringy for you as an audience member, actually.
Yes, because you wanted him to do a good job. You want to be
Yeah.
laughing. You want him or her to have a good set, but when they don't, you feel embarrassed for them.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I get it, because as time goes by, let's say they change their set, they get a better set, better jokes, more comfortable on stage, whatever, and then they do good. It's almost like a look at him. You know what I mean? Like so proud of him. Look at, you know what I mean?
I'm sure I'm not the only one who notices when people go out to these things a lot and see people improve.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of
And
all
that's
this.
your whole point of doing what you guys do.
You often go to not just shows, but open mics. So you see us when we're working on something and trying to improve it. So let's talk about you a little bit, Shandi. Like, what do you want to tell the audience about yourself? Like, who are you? Where are you from? If you want to share your day job.
Yeah, so a little bit about me. I'm from, small town New York. So I was used to being a small town girl, and it's been a little weird living in Florida, to be honest, with it's just a lot different. It's just a lot different than being in the woods. Let's just put it that way.
In the cold woods.
In the cold woods, where everyone's like, it's so pretty there. There's mountains and there's
How long are you from Jersey?
Nothing to do. No, New York State. You always think I'm from Jersey. But
Okay.
How long have you been in Florida?
He thinks my accent is Jersey. It's New York.
How long you been here?
I've been here about like 7 years now. What you got to say, Terry?
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, even a small town in New York State doesn't strike me as small town.
But it is, though.
I mean, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it hits the ear weird.
I know, because
a small town in New York.
No one thinks like of anything outside of
the city.
New York City. Sometimes when it comes to New York.
I've been to White Plains. I've been to Buffalo. Like
but
they don't feel like small
White Plains
towns.
and Buffalo I wouldn't call White Plains a small town though. I mean, I used to work in White Plains.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in White Plains.
I
wish
know.
I could have lived in White Plains, because White Plains is actually a really cool place.
Right.
And actually has a lot to do.
Right.
But when I go up to visit, it's like the same things are still there. It's all mom and pop stuff mostly. I mean,
Terry's like dying to get to New York, but I don't think he's dying to get to
I don't think he would want to get to my part.
Yeah, the small towns. I don't think he's about
No, I wanted to move to the city. I loved my time there.
Okay, but anyone who's watching from my small town, though, I love where I'm from. I do, because it teaches you a lot.
Yeah.
You become very self-sufficient with things.
I guess, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to beat that horse, but just being from Tennessee, like when I think of a small town, I think of like where you have to drive half an hour to get to the grocery store. You got to drive about 2 hours to get to a major city.
Right.
Is that the kind of thing you're thinking of?
No, it's not like that. It's not like that.
That's not
situation.
Necessarily the only type of small town here.
Well, I'm not saying. I'm saying that's probably why I'm looking at it wrong. It's just from my personal experience.
I think from Terry's experiences, it's probably wouldn't be deemed considered a small town, but anyone that lives like in West Palm or Palm Beach Gardens or things like that, they're gonna think, oh wow, this is a small town.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends on where you're from, how you view it. Everywhere I lived since has been a lot bigger of an area. So,
but Texas is like that too. You can drive for some of these towns. You can drive for quite a while before you hit something big.
I know. I'm from Texas.
I know, that's why I'm bringing it up so you can make a comment.
There are some small towns like that, but I'm just saying there's some small towns that also have a Walmart.
Yeah.
We've had to drive, like, to get to the good stores for malls, you'd have to drive a half an hour at least. But anyways, it's my day job. I'm a paralegal, like Gio is. This is my mentor, or like was my mentor. I still consider you one sometimes. So that's what I do for my day job. I do love it. I also, though, kind of wear two hats with things because I'm very big into mental health, and anyone that knows me, and that's my friend, knows that. So also going to school to become a therapist eventually. So I like both. So I want to be able to do both if I can. And it's near and dear to my heart because I think just with everything going on and just life in general, I want to be able to give back. And that's what being a therapist can do.
I think that you really, not that my eyes weren't really open to mental health, but you really like brought it into my world a little bit more than it had been. And I appreciate that.
Which one?
Well, Terry, no, I know. I didn't want to
Sure.
put Terry on blast, but yeah, Terry,
Yeah, it's fine. I have depression and anxiety too.
Terry also, like, you know, is a big advocate for mental health too, which I appreciate because
Sure.
I feel like there's not many men who want to talk about that stuff, and he is one of them. That's
Well,
okay.
One
with
time-
I don't
one
know
time
that
I had
it
a
was
panic-
always like that.
One time I had a panic attack that lasted almost 7 hours. Not fun.
So I just think there's always a space to talk about it, and I do think it's a delicate topic for many people, and some people are just
Well, there's a stigma around it.
Yeah, there's still the
Especially
stigma,
like you said,
yeah.
especially with men, because people just naturally equate it to weakness.
weakness.
Yeah, and especially with men, when you're supposed to be strong and you're supposed to be masculine, to say like I can't, like I'm having an internal battle right now, I can't.
Yeah,
And that's the way that I think guys should look at it. They should look at it as a strength, just because you know, mental issues that's a battle you're having with yourself. So the harder the battle, it just means you make a very effective opponent. You know what I mean? You're strong on both sides.
Yeah.
I
So-
agree with that.
You want to be mentally and physically strong.
I'm
Yeah.
very open about it, and with myself too, where, you know, when you share it with people, sometimes people like will also take that and want to use it against you, I've found.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes
Dicks.
usually when they just want to marginalize you, being
Dicks.
like, oh, he's crazy, don't even listen to him.
and
You know
half
what
the
I mean?
time, those people are the ones that are struggling more than you.
Yeah.
So,
Well, anybody who can't,
and I just got it. Yeah. I just,
anybody who can't talk openly about an issue, to me, an issue like that, you're just showing how weak you are. Just because, like, if you had an ulcer, you wouldn't be ashamed to tell people, "Ah, I got an ulcer, I can't eat spice," you know, or something like that. Or if you had, like, I've heard people talk about addiction issues they've had with more openness than they
absolutely.
do talking about, you know, like, oh, I'm depressed.
But not
and-
with, okay, so are you ready to play the blame game?
yeah, let's.
Which, by the way, I had a panic attack today,
Um,
this morning.
I'm glad, are you still having it? Or you-
No, it was quick. I've learned mental tricks and stuff to kind of get, but yeah, I was doing a job this morning. I was leaving. For some reason, some bad thought got in my head and it just started to spiral. And then it's like, oh, I'm out in the acreage. What happens if I have a heart attack right now? You know what I mean? And then those bad thoughts, they just, that's why they call them catastrophic thoughts, because they just fall like dominoes.
Yeah.
Then next thing you know, your body produces adrenaline and you're off to the races.
Well, then what's your healthy way of handling it for anyone listening that may have the same issue?
Well, I mean, you just tell yourself, like one exercise I do is I just tell myself like, okay, well, what do you want to do about it? You know what's going on, you know, you're going to be okay. You've done this before. What do you want to do about this? You're having a panic attack. You know what's happening. Do you want to go to the hospital? No, is always the answer. And it's always usually going to be the answer. And they say, okay, well, then what do you want to do about it? And you go, oh, that's right. You know,
So you talk
you do
yourself
that-
down.
Yeah, and there's also a way you breathe in for 4 seconds and breathe out for 4 seconds. That's like a Navy SEAL trick.
Breathing is very effective.
Yeah.
Steadying
With
your breathing.
any
Yeah, because
anxiety, stress, anything.
think about it like you took a drug, because that's what happens. When you have a panic attack, your body releases, it's a remnants of our fight or flight instinct
Yes.
from when we evolved.
Mhm.
So like you see in cats sometimes cats will freak out and they'll run all over your house. They're getting that energy out. I'm not saying they're having a panic attack, but they've got to get that energy out and you've got to get it out too. But exercise works really well. 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out works really well. And just practice whatever mental exercises you can to, because once that adrenaline gets released, that's a drug like any other. So now you're in for the ride,
Yeah.
you know?
All right, are we ready to play the blame game?
Yes, let's play.
All right,
Let's play.
there are a lot of comics that are suffering with their mental health. Shandi, who's to blame?
Me,
Mm,
I did it.
Why do you think that is?
pressure. I
Nope.
just think I think you guys as comedians put a lot of pressure on yourself. Maybe not Terry, but I think a lot of others do because they want to make it.
I think you'll agree with me. I'm not just disagreeing with you. I think you're going to agree when I say this, but I don't think that people with mental issues have that as a result of comedy. I think comedy attracts people with
I was
mental
gonna ask
issues.
that. You don't think that maybe it attracts people? Because like even
Every comic I know is broken in one way or another.
with respect to
every one of them.
you know, you stepped in and did this
Yeah.
last minute. We were supposed to have Dane who runs therapy comedy sessions, and it's just where you go. And I mean, you.
But he's a piece of shit, and he bailed on us. Don't forget. No.
Well, I think comedy is just like, you know, like artists, like it's another art form. So yeah, a lot of artists
Artists are
do
like,
suffer
sure.
with mental health
Yeah.
issues. So yeah, you're right. Yeah, I could see that with
Yeah,
that too.
It's an exercise. You're getting out your demons
But
through art.
I just do think in almost every profession, I just feel like there are just gonna be people suffering with their mental health in which, I mean,
Yeah.
you see a lot of attorneys have their issues with mental health too.
Yeah.
I guess. I'm just saying.
No, I know what you're saying though.
When I have a base, like a scientific base, you know, if you were doing an experiment on something and you got a 100% result, which is super rare, wouldn't you think like, oh yeah, this is the reason?
So you're saying you would say like all comedians have like some mental health type of, or had.
If you're any good, yeah.
Oh, I guess I'm not good then.
Oh, you've got yours. Yeah, you
I
don't
got
even want me.
I'm my
Actually,
mental.
Let's put it out there like this.
elite.
Everyone has something they're dealing with.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I mean.
Let's just put it like that.
I definitely have a joke saying we're all undiagnosed if you haven't been diagnosed.
Oh yeah, you got problems, bro. We just don't talk about.
Well,
I ain't got. I'm perfect.
Terry's like, I talked about my mental health. Are you gonna talk
Mhm.
about yours? That's
No.
what he's saying.
I haven't been diagnosed with anything, so
She's too
I
weak to
don't
be
have a
strong.
mental health issue. All right, Terry, you got words for white people this week?
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. I got a good.
All right.
I got a good in this week.
Give him the floor.
I'm a little scared to hear this.
All right. This.
brain
Ooh,
is-
hey now.
Interesting.
This week we're going to talk about equality and what equality actually means, because for some reason in the last 5 to 10 years, everybody seems to think equality means that you can do whatever you want. That's not what equality means. Equality means equal. So I can hear you. No, equality means equal. I believe in everybody should have equal rights. However, I do not believe that just because you happen to be a trans person means you get to be an asshole. You don't get special treatment just because you're different. You need to get equal treatment, because that's what equality means. I watched somebody blow up at a cashier and scream at them this week, and then accuse them of being homophobic because they happen to be a trans. And I seriously, I tapped on this woman's shoulder, and notice how I'm using the right pronouns. I tapped on this woman's shoulder and I said, excuse me, I don't think she's homophobic. And she goes, you're homophobic. And I said, well, you're an asshole. And I said, just because you're trans doesn't mean you get to be an asshole. Okay. I said, leave that poor woman alone. Now that I'm not doing some white knight, white messiah bullshit here. I'm just happen to be more abrasive than most people, because everybody in the line hated what was happening, but nobody would say anything because, again, we got to walk on eggshells for this precious little creature over here. No, I think we're doing the best we can. We're protecting your rights as best we can, because that's what you should have. You should have the same rights as everybody else. But that means you're also held to the same standard as everybody else. And I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what makes you different. I don't care who you are. You're still held to the same standards of courtesy, politeness, and the social contract that we all put together. You're different. You're not better. Do you understand? So it doesn't mean you get extra. Okay. So just remember, whether you're different, whether you feel like a majority or a minority, you're all being held up to the same standards of politeness and kindness and the social contract that we all signed together. So equality, just keep that in mind.
Yeah, equality does mean that anybody can be a fucking dick.
Yep.
And yeah, you can't just weaponize your, discrimination to your wish. You
Yeah,
know?
and just because you're a woman doesn't mean you can't be toxic. I think Jada Pinkett proved that pretty well.
I don't know how Jada Pinkett proved that.
Oh, come on.
I don't know why she's even getting the blame.
There's a reason why Will Smith got over there and
I'm
hit that
not-
man.
That's on him.
And it wasn't.
Why ain't that on him? He's a grown-ass man.
She beats him. There is no way that's not true.
You're just making stuff up now.
No, she
I'm not-
beats that man.
All right.
I'm not talking about Jada.
Look in his eyes.
All right, guys.
broken.
Terry, you got anything this week?
Nope, May 15th.
All right, I am at the Improv at New Faces. You can just say my name, Giovanni or Blamegirl, at the door on Wednesday, the 27th, and get in for free.
I was gonna sign up for that, but then I didn't.
So you can come and get me in.
That's right. And next month you can come get me in.
That's right. All right,
All
we
right.
will see you next week, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much, Shandi, for joining us, and fuck you, Terry. All right.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
Somebody's got some spice.